Hello everyone and welcome to this lesson. Today we'll be talking about question words in Arabic. There are a number of question words. The main ones that we'll be talking about today are the ones here. So the first one is hel, which doesn't actually have an equivalent in English, but this is how we form yes-no questions, as we'll see in the coming slides. And then we have أين, which means where. And then we have من, which means who. And we also have متى, which means when. And then we have ما, which means what. And we have كيف, which means how. And we have كم, which means how many or how much. And we have Mede, which means what. Notice that there are two words that mean what here, but we'll see the difference in the examples. And then we have لماذا, which means why. So the first one is hel, which forms yes-no questions. So the answer to this question has to be either yes, or in Arabic say نعم, or no, which in Arabic is لا. So for example, we have a question like this: هل نمت جيدا? Did you sleep well? So you can say that نعم نمت جيدا, or لا لم أنم جيدا, but the answer has to start with نعم or لا. And then you have something like هل تريد أن تأكل? Do you want to eat? And you have a question like هل أنت مصري? Are you Egyptian? And you can have a question like هل وصل الضيوف? Did the guests arrive? Then we move on to the question word أين, which means where. So you can use it in different ways. You can say something like أين الحقيبة? Where is the bag? Or we can say أين تسكن? Where do you live? And you can say something like أين المدير? Where is the manager? Or you can say أين أنت? Which means where are you? If you're talking to a female, you say أين أنتِ? And if you're talking to a group of people, أين أنتم? So these are some examples of using the question word أين. And then you have the question word من, which means who. So let's see some examples. So we can say من هو? Who is he? We can say من هو مخترع الهاتف? Who is the inventor of the phone? Or we can say من هو مؤلف الكتاب? Who is the author of the book? Or we can have it in a question like this: من قال لك هذا? Who told you so? And then we have the question word متى, which means when. So you can ask the question like متى وصلتم? When did you arrive? Like we're talking to a group of people. If you're talking to a single male person, you can say that متى وصلت. If you're talking to a female person, متى وصلتِ? And then we have it in a question like this: متى ولدت? When were you born? We can ask something like متى حدث هذا؟ متى حدث هذا؟ When did this happen? Or you can say متى سافروا؟ متى سافروا? When did they travel? And then you can use ما, which means what, and let's see some examples here. ما معنى هذه الكلمة؟ ما معنى هذه الكلمة? What is the meaning of this word? We can say something like ما هذا؟ ما هذا? What is this? We can ask a question like ما هي عاصمة فرنسا؟ ما هي عاصمة فرنسا? What is the capital of France? We can ask something like ما هي المشكلة؟ ما هي المشكلة? What is the problem? Notice that what we asking about is the subject of a sentence here. For example, when we ask ما هي عاصمة فرنسا, the answer would be Paris هي عاصمة فرنسا, or Paris is the capital of France. So Paris here is the subject of the sentence, and that's why we use ما. And we'll notice this in a little bit when we see the other word ماذا. And then we have كيف, كيف, which means how. So some examples here like كيف عرفت, كيف عرفت, how did you know? Or كيف حالك, كيف حالك, which means how are you, and it literally means how is your condition. حالك means your condition. Or we can ask a question like this: كيف نصلح الهاتف, كيف نصلح الهاتف, how do we fix the phone? Or a question like this: كيف يمكن أن أساعدك, كيف يمكن أن أساعدك, how can I help you? And then we have the question word كم, which means how many or how much. So we can make questions like كم عمرك, كم عمرك, how old are you, which means literally how much or how many is your age. You can ask a question like كم تكلفت الرحلة, كم تكلفت الرحلة, how much did the trip cost? Or you can ask a question like كم شخصا قابلت, كم شخصا قابلت, how many persons or people did you meet? Or you can ask a question like كم تريد, كم تريد, something like how much do you want? Then we arrive to this question word, which is ماذا, which is also what, similar to what we've seen before for the word ما, but this one is used differently. This one, you can see it in the examples here. ماذا حدث, ماذا حدث, which means what happened, what happened. Or ماذا فعلوا, ماذا فعلوا, what did they do? You can say also something like ماذا قلت, ماذا قلت, what did you say? Or ماذا تريد, ماذا تريد, what do you want? So you notice that in examples like these is that the thing that we're asking about is the object, because we like ماذا تريد, so we like I want something. So the question is about this thing that we want, so that's why we use ماذا for these examples here. And then we arrive to this question word, which is لماذا, لماذا, which means why. So we can ask a question like لماذا تبكي, لماذا تبكي, why are you crying? Or لماذا تأخروا, لماذا تأخروا, why are they late? Or لماذا وقعت الحادثة, لماذا وقعت الحادثة, why did the accident happen? Or you can say لماذا فعلت ذلك, لماذا فعلت ذلك? Why did you do so? So we have covered the main question words in Arabic and we've seen some examples for them. I would appreciate if you have any questions or comments about the video or things that you want more explanation about. And also please make sure to subscribe and to like the video and to share it with your friends who are learning Arabic or are interested to do so. Thank you so much.